So, world order. I'm surprised that I'm doing a part two to an old video I had on a former channel ages ago. My original video was called Racism, Racism Exists, Get Over It, or something like that. I don't know if you were a YouTuber, maybe 6, 7 years ago, maybe you came across it. Needless to say, it was highly controversial. However, with today's climate, I feel the need to re to give my ideas on it as far as 2017 is concerned, and really going into the future. I try not to live in the past. I love a lot of things about, as people know me, preferably like the 80s, some of the 60s and 70s. I love how where humanity was socially, where humanity was heading socially, where creativity was, and how people, there was more, if you can call it more spirituality in those days than it is now. A lot of things today in 2017, even in 2015, in this decade are forced. A lot of things are superficial, they're for the wrong reasons, they're ill-gotten, and they're, in a way, they're meaningless. A lot of things that had a lot of meaning and had a lot of value are almost worthless today. So when you bring up the topic of racism, and especially in this time where so much information is out there, the truth, it's a cliche. There used to be a show called The X-Files, and the tagline after the intro, it would always say up in the sky, next to some sort of a fake UFO, was "The truth is out there." But the truth is really available. You just have to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together of how this world functions. So as far as racism, when we talk about racism and how the world is supposedly fighting against this type of ideology, uh, almost 7 years ago, I said that racism is something that you have to get over. You have to get over this type of ideology in order to progress in life. Why? Because life will continue to progress whether or not you progress with it. It's like being the very first cell phone. It's like being a flip phone. If an engineer does not come and take out your case, add some things to your wiring, add different chips to you, you will be obsolete. Now, there are people who believe that racism is the dominant mentality or ideology. Actually, it's not. Racism is an idea. A lot of it is fueled by classism and a lack of education, a lack of intelligence, and a lack of, I want to say, awareness, a lack of awareness. This is, I, racism is really a tool uh, for control of the have-nots, for those who have no money, for those who have no power, for those who have an inferiority complex. But most of the time, it is utilized by people of that same ilk, people who also have no resources, no means. It's a ladder for superiority amongst the lowest hanging fruit on the planet Earth, amongst the lowest, the most poverty-stricken, the poorest, the people, those who have the least. need to rely on something in order to feel better than others. However, amongst the richest, there is no racism. There is only a competition of having more and having better, um, expansion. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm really trying to be clear with this video. A lot of people think that, well, the rich hate people based upon race. They don't hate you or dislike you based upon race. What they will hate and dislike you is based upon the fact that you are in a lower position than them. You are in a lesser position than them. They have more power. The planet Earth moves off around power. That's the axis that the planet uh, revolves around, is power and money and resources. And if you have those, regardless of even your gender, even your sexuality, you will be accepted. It is not about race, the shade of your color, the shade of this. Again, this is an ideology, a tool used to manipulate those who have and those who do not have. But the wealthy is more concerned about resources and ideas, invention, getting to the next thing on the planet Earth. They have no need for racism at the very top, at the very elite of this planet. It is an obsolete idea, you know. And we talk about this 1%, this one. They are only threatened by those who really can cause a shake or change in their financial situation, a change in their where they sit in the hierarchy. However, the average person and a person's race or forcing someone to like you based upon their skin color doesn't affect them that way. Do you understand? When it comes time, if and we will see something, maybe not even in our lifetime, but trust me, many of us see this. Even though many things have not happened, there are many of us sprinkled throughout the planet Earth who see this. When it comes time to um, for the top of the planet Earth to separate, there will be black people there, there will be Mexican people, there will be Asian, Chinese, of course. Of course there will be. Of course it will not just be white people. But these will be the smartest, the most intelligent, the most just almost people who have such an intellect, they're borderline not even human. People who have mastered human frailties, human faults. These people will congregate amongst themselves and they will separate from people who fight over ideas like racism and homophobia and this and that, because we know in the high circles of the planet, homosexuality is there, of course. Every type of pleasure, every type of anything, joy, anything that can bring joy, pleasure, anything is at the very is celebrated amongst the top of the planet Earth. But here with people who do not have and are constantly looking for a reason to feel worthy, people who need to feel accepted by others, people who need to who constantly search for a reason to wake up in the morning that they refuse to create and give themselves. They will be focused on the phobias of sexism, disliking someone because they are a woman or a man, or because they are white or black or Asian, or these are tiny, they are such minuscule ideologies and they are tossed out to people as a mechanism for you really to fight amongst yourselves, because the absolute wealthiest, they just want to continue being wealthy. if you can help them be wealthier, if you justify your purpose amongst being the greatest on the planet Earth, they will respect you as such. There will be no nigger, no spit, no none of this. There will be, you are the best. You have proven your right to exist amongst us. You understand what I'm saying? Amongst money and real power of this planet. There will not be, well, you black, so I don't want to stand next to you. A lot of that, it will be, you have this behavior. You are this type of person, therefore, I don't want to stand next to you. You have not achieved anything, therefore, I do not want to stand up next to you. Now, people talk about class and status. That is what the elite have issues with. They don't want anyone below status or someone who is not within their in, within their love on their level on their uh, with the same type of credentials, in life with them. That's the issue. But if this is regardless of race, of this, of anything. So when you see people fighting and this idea, and the media helps helps you all be the biggest pawns. You talk about, you fight against certain people and certain quote unquote ideas, but you're being used by those same people that you're trying to fight against because they're tossing ideas out there to you through the media. And the funny thing is, these political pundits, or these people who give you your news, you don't read anymore, and you refuse to watch people who actually go out there and get the news. Instead, you want to get your information, your news from someone on the internet who has no passport, who has not been to the country that in which they're speaking about, who doesn't even have any experience with the soil, the mentality of those people of that land, and you take this on as intellect. This is absurd. It's absurd. So you're playing a game of telephone with your education, with your intellect. So everything that this person feels about the news source that they're getting it from, and maybe they're getting it from the Onion or something, and they're damning CNN to hell. But however, CNN sends journalists to different locations around the planet Earth to get you the news. Yes, you're getting their interpretation of it, but is their interpretation better as opposed to someone who is getting their interpretation who has absolutely no experience in what the hell they're talking about? None whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? So you can get your news and all of this information from people who may even have an inferiority complex. So what they're going to tell you, they're going to tell you these people are racist, because that's how I feel about what they said. This is how I feel about CNN. So when I get in front of a camera, I'm going to tell you they're racist. I'm going to tell you this. And if you are unintelligent, you will develop this idea that these people, that this person on the internet told you is racist without any fact, without being able to independently think, without being able to rise above emotion. It's just a tool for manipulation of of those who do not have. Everyone wants to feel superior. So I'm going to dislike you because of your race, because I don't have anything else really going for myself. Do you understand how that type of thing works? But someone who is wealthy wants to choose someone based upon the job done. I'm talking about the super wealthy. They want to change. They want to deal with people who can get the job done. If it's not, and it's not about being a coon, being all this, all of that. It's about who is the most qualified to sit next to you in that position, in that area, who can get the job done to the best, who is the most qualified. A lot of things are actually about that. Who is able to sit in my circle? Who can I feel comfortable around? You understand what I'm saying? Who can match me in intellect? Who can match me and this and that, who is able to move on to a level of equal power. That's what most people are concerned about. But as far as you being a darker shade, a lighter shade, this and that, there's no real room for wealth in this with this ideology. You will see poor people who have nothing fighting because they're still trying to look for something to be. They're still trying to feed pride and ego, which is evident in all human life, human beings. You know, it's a human condition, but they have to feed it. And it's most prevalent and it's most hungry when you have absolutely nothing to feed it. You understand what I'm saying? When you have no accomplishments, no real accomplishments in which to feed it. So you rely on the phobias, the, the isms, you know, this is what you build your life upon, you know, this becomes your world. This ideology becomes your world when actually at the very top, this is not what people are concerned about. This is not what people are concerned about. People care about creating more wealth, creating more change, manipulating things that they can do to the planet Earth. When you come into X amount of money, that's what life is about. What can I change the weather here in this state? People pay for wars. And you know, even we've learned so much about politics if we've been paying attention. People have the money to fund a war. People have created wars in different parts of the planet Earth. That's power. Whether or not someone doesn't hire you for a job, that is power on such a small thing level. Because you know what? How you can get your own power? Start your own business. That's how this country or the United States was founded upon. Free enterprise, you know, trade, capitalism. You understand what I'm trying to get at. So, you know, my idea really hasn't changed very much about racism. It's just that this is an ideology played mostly and that antagonizes those who don't have and those who can't intellectually rise above this type of idea. But those at the very top are not worried about who likes them about regarding race. They're wondering, how can I be the very best on this planet Earth? So which do you want to think about? The choice is yours all the time.